Hello and welcome to another episode with the Chamber's podcast, affectionately called the Peninsula Business Buzz. My name is Shelley Smith, the owner of Premier Rapport, where everything is workplace culture, and I'm here to represent the Peninsula SHRM Chapter Society of Human Resources. And of course, our wonderful co-host is Bob McKenna, the president of the Chamber itself. So Bob, why don't you introduce our wonderful guest today?
Well, first of all, Shelley, you didn't say illustrious leader this time.
I know. I had to pull myself back. You were calling me out on that, so I had to hold back.
I loved it though. All right, good. So today, for this new episode of Peninsula Biz Buzz, PBB, and we're not going to say what episode number it is because it depends. Yeah. So we think it's about 5, maybe somewhere around there. But so today we have with us Savannah Bolin, who is and let me make sure I get your title right, Savannah, the regional director of the Hampton Roads Gather.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And our interest really, because this is the Peninsula Biz Buzz, is the Newport News Gather.
Yes.
Savannah has been in the job now. So Norfolk's Gather opened, what, 4 months ago?
It did, June 6th.
And the Newport News one had its ribbon cutting actually today, but it's been open for about a month.
Yes.
And Savannah is a Newport News native, I think. I definitely went to high school in Newport News. And her parents are still Newport News residents. So we claim her as one of our own.
There we go.
So how's that for an intro? Over to you, Shelley.
Well, first of all, it's hard to find natives here. So, it's good to actually find one. So, and I have to ask, is the high school you went to still a high school that's open, or is it one that was mowed down?
Well, funny that you asked. So I was born and raised in Newport News. I was born at Riverside Hospital, so locally grown, homegrown, still here. But I went to Warwick High School, and I know there's some back and forth on whether or not it should still be here. So we will find out soon. I've heard in the last 10 years, maybe it shouldn't be anymore.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, welcome. We would like to hear about all things Gather. So, we don't want to assume that everybody knows what the Gather space is all about. So why don't you give us any tidbit that you would love about yourself additionally, but definitely about the space and the type of folks that you're looking forward to come into the space as members.
Yeah, so Gather is a inspiring space for anyone. So a lot of people think we're just entrepreneurs, we're just a one-person show, 1-person, 2-person companies, 3-person. But the beauty of Gather, there really isn't a defining member. So we have all age groups, all businesses, whether they've just started, if they've been around for 5 years. Typically, our members have been in business for 5 years or more. We have a lot of consultants, lawyers, marketing professionals, and the whole beauty of Gather is that it's really whatever you need the space to be. So we have all-inclusive office space, co-working where you work out in an open area for a lower cost. We have private offices. Everybody gets conference room time, printing allowance, and we've been around for 5 years now. We started in Richmond in downtown. Opened our first location there. Our owners were small business consultants, and they designed the space based on what they were lacking. They were tired of meeting in Paneras and church and home and all of those places where you're trying to figure out, where in the world do I meet and take my business and still look professional. So they designed the space, and fast forward, we've been open 5 years, and we have 3 locations in Richmond. We opened Norfolk in June, and now we're in Newport News with plans for 2020.
Beautiful. Bob, follow-up question?
Yeah, so Savannah, tell us a little bit more about your background, like after Warwick High School, and what kind of led you to this kind of work?
Well, how much time do we have? So when I was at Warwick, I thought I wanted to do social services, and quickly found out that I did not have the patience for our judicial system. So that did not happen. I went to ODU for 2 years and transferred to JMU, studied abroad in Spain, completely changed my life. I recommend everyone does it. And I majored in modern foreign languages with a concentration in Spanish. So how did that translate to Gather? I went into retail management and leadership roles. I was also in nonprofit and development. And some of those don't sound like they relate to this, but the beauty is they really do, because in nonprofit, it's all about community and families and building relationships. And that's what Gather is all about. There's a leadership component as far as checking in with our team, leading each space. But the biggest thing is creating relationships. So I go around the community and get to know businesses and be an active part of the community. We don't want to just expand anywhere and make money. We want to be an integral part of the community and bring people together to create ideas and businesses and to flourish.
Well, that sounds a lot like my job and what we do at the Chamber, right? Going around and establishing business relationships. The difference is that we like to make money too.
Well, we do like to make money.
That kind of keeps us moving. Yeah. So how do you translate, how do you say gather in Spanish?
I don't know. That is a good question.
So yeah.
I'll save that for the next podcast.
You got it. Okay. And so tell me what's unique about Gather as compared to other similar workplaces, workspaces, co-work spaces.
Yeah. So I think the unique thing is, we design beautiful spaces, of course. It's all inclusive, of course. But I think a lot of times people think, oh, that's this great concept. You buy a big building and you throw some offices in there. And we always say, yes, we do have offices, we do have a large space, but we always encourage everybody to come visit the location, because I think most people don't truly understand who we are until they walk into the space and they see the community. We really consider ourselves, instead of commercial real estate, we consider ourselves in the hospitality business. And we greet your guests when you walk in. Everybody is a friend. We meet over coffee and fruit water and kombucha. And we do these little events. We have Flapjack Friday, for instance. And it's the silliest thing. We literally make pancakes on a griddle, bring everybody together, get some syrup, have some coffee together. But the fun thing for me is you will see as we open our doors, and then week after week, members that come to this and get to know each other, and they probably would have never collided otherwise. Maybe, one is a larger business and one is an entrepreneur. And I think that is the beauty of Gather, is who we're bringing together and just what comes from it. A lot of people get future jobs from it. They make friends, they eat lunch together. And so I think it's just this bigger concept, and it's so much more than office space.
You're sitting inside of a special room right now, are you not?
I am. So this is, and I am actually kicking it off, this is our podcast booth. So we have put one of these in our Norfolk location, our Newport News location, and we will continue to put them in there. And we also have equipment that you can rent too.
Bob, you were going to say something before I cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was going to talk a little bit about the packages available. So what kind of pricing do you have set up? So if somebody wants to come in and rent long-term office space, how does that work? And how does that work as compared to somebody who, say, flies into Newport News occasionally for meetings with, name one of the big companies, Ferguson or something like that. Is there a package that's designed for those people also?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have, for $80 a month, you can do our pay-as-you-go option, where you basically get 4 days of co-working for the month. It is Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And then our main membership access starts at $250 a month. So for $250 a month, you can sit out in co-working, an open area. You put your stuff wherever, and you're in this open concept. You sell printing allowance, conference room time. And then for $350 a month, you have a dedicated desk, a little bit more privacy, and then offices start at $500 and up. And that is all inclusive of printing, conference room time, coffee, kombucha. We have beer on tap. We do a lot of fun events for our members, and then we also bring in networking groups as well. So you're getting a lot more than just office space. And we get that question a lot, how much is it per square foot? And what we say is, if you're looking at just the office space, then we're not going to be the best option. But if you're looking at the event space that you get and all of these other aspects to it, then, and especially the event space, it's about 4,000 square feet of just that alone to reserve.
What about the boardroom?
And the flapjacks are included?
Flapjacks are included. Sometimes fried eggs.
That's worth it right there. That's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shelley.
How many people can the boardroom, the conference room fit?
It depends on the location. So in Newport News, we have 4-person, 8-person conference rooms. And then one of the unique things about Newport News is it's in partnership with tech centers. So we are also utilizing some of the conference room space and the classrooms that Virginia Tech and Tech Center have. So we have a 12-person upstairs that our members can utilize. And then Virginia Tech also has a classroom that could fit up to 50 people that we could reserve as well.
Okay. What are some of the events that you've already had in Newport News? Because you've had a few. I know you've had some with the Chamber. What are some of the other things that you've done, and maybe some things that are coming up that our viewers and listeners would love to hear about?
Yeah, so we are very honored to have hosted Yelp Elite's 15th birthday bash. So that was a really good time. Yelp always brings a good party. So we really enjoyed hosting that. We have also hosted some nonprofits, some networking groups, synapse. We have a chamber event coming up December 6th, 1 to 4. It's a Friday, so we'll be hosting that. Our ribbon cutting was this morning, and we actually have our grand opening coming up. So that is November 20th. It's a Wednesday, and it's in partnership with Virginia Living Museum to create awareness around the museum and to support them. And the whole reason we partnered with them, we had named our conference rooms after them. So each conference room is named after an animal. So we have the pelican, the otter. We have fun quotes on the walls to go along with the theme. And so we wanted to bring awareness to the museum and what they're doing to support the community, and also just say thank you to them and throw a big party to have a good time with everyone.
That's
Bob?
outstanding. So you're talking a little bit about partnerships there with the Virginia Living Museum. Who do you consider, who are other partners that you see yourself working with already or in the future? So for instance, you mentioned Virginia Tech, and I know they have an accelerator network there also at Tech Center. That would seem to me to be a natural partner, but who are other partners in the region and on the peninsula?
Yeah, so Virginia Tech, obviously, in Tech Center. Virginia Tech is bringing grad school programs, and the goal is to have undergrad as well. Tech Center, we're working with very closely for marketing aspects, bringing talent to the area, helping develop talent locally and organically so that they can move on to companies that are in the shared space that we are. We're also working very closely with economic development. We're a really great option when any of the cities, not just one, because we are a very large region, all working together, of course. And so we're working with economic development when they're trying to attract large companies to the area or small companies to the area. We can be that starting location for them where they're not locked into a long-term commercial lease, and then they can grow within other space in the cities. The Chamber is a huge partner of ours on both sides. We love working with the Chamber. A lot of networking groups. So we're members of Biz Connect, Downtown Norfolk Council. We work with Synapse quite a bit. So it's really important for us to be involved in local groups in the area, and then also to support locals. So for instance, our coffee roaster is Town Center Cold Pressed, and so they do all of our coffee in Hampton Roads, and that's because we want to make sure we keep it local.
So here at the Chamber, we have a Military Affairs Council, and we meet on the third Wednesday of each month. Maybe we could do one of our meetings over there.
Yeah, I would.
Would it be possible to do flapjacks on a Wednesday?
We could make that happen, I think.
All right, so I'll get with you offline and we'll talk about that. So Brad Williamson from ITA, who is your neighbor, is actually the chairman of the Military Affairs Council. So I'll come over to see Brad, we'll come over to see you, and we'll set something up for one of the next few months.
Yeah, that would be great. And that brings up a good point, Bob. So we also, to give back, we offer our space to networking groups and nonprofits free of charge. And we'll do it first thing in the morning, or we'll host them after hours. But for someone that has been in nonprofit and worked there, it's really hard to find free space. And free is the best price for nonprofits. So it's a great way for us to give back with, beautiful space that we've invested a lot in, and it gives them a new space to host events and donor appreciation gatherings, board meetings. And so that's something that we work on in the community as well.
So do you know Karen Dutro at Network Peninsula?
I was just thinking of.
Actually, we connected at a Synapse meeting.
Good, yeah, because I was thinking, so she does a lot of the training for nonprofits and boards. And Sister David Ann Niskey, they work closely together. So she probably needs to come over and see you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've connected already. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Karen's the queen of nonprofits for the nonprofits.
Yes.
Definitely is the connector. Two follow-up questions. With the membership piece, going back to that, do your members that are dedicated in Richmond, for example, when they come in this neck of the woods, because a lot of them have businesses here too, does the memberships cross between all three locations, or are they dedicated?
Yes, they do. So if you are a member of one, you have reciprocity and can utilize any of our locations. So we have 3 in Richmond. We have Midlothian opening up in 2020. And then we have Norfolk, Newport News. We have plans for other cities in Hampton Roads in 2020. And then our goal is to expand out of state in 2021. And so our members will have access to any of locations that we go to.
Beautiful. What's something that typically people don't ask you that they should ask you about the space or the concept of a co-work space?
Ooh, something that they should ask me.
Maybe it's a misconception that people have.
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception is who we cater to. So a lot of people think we are just startups and just entrepreneurs. And those are actually more of the innovation centers and the incubators. And those are great programs, but ours, we are professional co-working. So professionals that need a nice, inspiring space. And so we actually get the entrepreneurs that after they've gone to the innovation centers and the incubators, then they come to us as their first kind of big step into the world as a business that's flourishing and has gotten a few extra contracts. Mm-hmm. So I think that is the biggest misconception. But then we also, a lot of people assume they know who we cater towards. And really we like great people and we like to have fun and get a lot of work done. So we definitely don't discriminate in that aspect. We have all businesses and we welcome all of them. But I think a lot of people assume they know who we cater towards and don't really ask about all of who we actually house in the space.
Is there somebody in particular that you would love to give a shout out or a reach out to or a tap on the shoulder verbally here that you wish that you could connect with locally? Any of the businesses that you would like to better partner with?
One of them, well, I would actually, so I'd like to give out 2 shout outs. One to Lori Powers, who is my chamber mentor and who has been amazing. I don't know if she listens, but I hope she does now. And then as far as a shout out with...
I'm going to tell her that she got mentioned in one of the podcasts, and I'm not going to tell her which one. She has to watch all of them.
Here you go.
She's famous now. And then as far as companies, I'd say the biggest one for us is the shipyard. Obviously, they are a huge industry in our area, but I'm running into more and more people that are contracted through the shipyard, but they also need office space and they need other business. And so I actually connected with somebody through ITA Group. They just casually came in for a tour and we're like, oh my God, we completely need this space in our life. So I would love to connect with them more in their contracting department to see what we could do further and how we could help.
Very good.
Beautiful. Bob?
Yeah. I got one last question. Got one last question, Savannah. What is your favorite branch of the military service?
Uh-oh, this is a crack.
Well, he's saying that because he knows further details. You know, I didn't really have a favorite branch, but my boyfriend is in the Navy, and so I'm going to say go Navy.
Yay! Go Navy. All right. Perfect. We're going to show this one on the week of the Army-Navy game.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, Savannah.
Thank you,
Over
Savannah.
to you, Shelley.
All right, we really appreciate your time today. Santa. See, I have Christmas on the brain. Forget the Army-Navy game. Let's move on to Christmas. Savannah, please tell everybody the best way that they can get a hold of you, whether it's the website, the phone number. What is it that you would like for them to reach you?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website at workatgather.com, all spelled out, workatgather.com. You can book a tour directly at any of our locations, and you can also ask questions on our website as well. That's the best way to contact me. I'm also on LinkedIn and email as well.
All right. Super fantastic. Well, we thank you for your time today. On behalf of myself and Bob, we appreciate everybody listening. Well, everything is about the workplace and the business in our community. We must have multiple voices, but one unity in the community, and appreciate Bob and the Chamber for pulling these podcasts together so we can get to know more businesses just like Gather inside of our community. So until next time, bye.
We'll see you. Thanks, Shelley. Thanks, Savannah.
Bye, guys.